Coming to what is an election campaign? Election campaign is essentially a series of rallies wherein I ask the voters, I as a party candidate or a party leader of a particular party, ask the voters or the people or the public in general at large to vote for my party. Why is an election campaign so important? Essentially, there are 3 points. One, it is very important to have a free and an open discussion about which party or which representative is better. Second, what are the good policies? And third, which leader is most equipped to lead the country or lead the state, so on and so forth. These 3 reasons an election campaign is really important. When does typically an election campaign happens? It happens for those 2 weeks between the final announcement of the list of candidates who are standing for the elections and the day of voting. These 2 weeks is when the election campaigns happens. Over the years since independence, election campaigns have given us some pretty memorable and catchy slogans from different party lines. Garibi Hatao by our ex-Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was one very famous slogan. Achhe din aane wale hai by our current Prime Minister Narendra Modi was another very famous slogan. So election campaigns have sort of educated the voter, although they have had unnecessary episodes like political leaders making fun of each other, sometimes even insulting each other. They've educated the voters about which party thinks what about the issues facing us, the people, and thereby they have made their individual choices. And India, I must say, has always, since independence, voted maturely. The problem has not been the quality of our voting, the problem has been the percentage of our voting, especially of the educated classes. Going ahead, there are a couple of rules for a party or a candidate to follow in elections. So, for one, no party or candidate can bribe or threaten voters to vote for them forcibly. Second, no party or candidate can use government resources like a police jeep, for instance, for their individual party's campaign, even if that party is in power. No party or candidate can appeal to people in the name of caste or religion. And lastly, for an MP or a Member of Parliament election, the maximum funds allowed to be used are rupees 25 lakhs, while for an MLA election, the maximum funds allowed to be used are rupees 10 lakhs. This figure, 25 lakhs and 10 lakhs, I'm giving from an earlier version of the democratic politics of Civics NCERT. I believe that minimum limit is being increased. So in a later version will tell us the exact figure there. So once again, as per election law, what are the 4 things a party or a candidate is not allowed to do? A, bribe or threaten voters. B, they're not allowed to use government resources for a political party campaign. C, appeal to people in the name of caste or religion. And D, the max expense allowed for an MP election is rupees 25 lakhs. The max expense allowed for an MLA election is rupees 10 lakhs. Guys, when an election commission or the election commissioner, specifically the chief election commissioner, either of states or nationally, announces the dates of an election, that he announces the schedule of the election and the date of the declaration of the results. That precise moment, something called as the Model Code of Conduct sets in. This Model Code of Conduct makes the election commission all-powerful until the declaration of results, makes it almost the supreme authority in the country, which sort of governs almost all political parties, including the current government. All have to adhere to the election commission norms. So what are the typical things that comes under the Model Code of Conduct? No, for one, no place of worship can be used for your election propaganda. I mean, suppose if I'm a leader, I can't go to a place of worship, any place of worship really, of any religion, and tell voters to vote them because I'm a devout follower of that religion, for instance. Second, no government resources can be used for election campaign. And third, and most importantly, once the election dates are announced, no minister can lay foundation stones of any new projects so as to try and last minute sway the voters or try them to overturn their decisions if they have potentially already decided to vote for some other candidate or party. So once again, what are the three salient characteristics of something called as a moral code of conduct? What is a moral code of conduct? It's a set of rules of the election commission that come into immediate force once the schedule of the elections till the declaration of results has been announced. Three features. One, you cannot use a place of worship for election propaganda. Two, you cannot use government resources for funding or running your election campaigns. And three, you cannot, so to speak, I'm sorry, I